What is up, you guys? Hi, welcome back, and I'm happy to be here, and I am looking forward to sharing about my Parasite Cleanse and how it went. So, just to kind of set the tone here, got a little Palo Santo from my girl Verena, fresh from Peru. Thanks Verena, love you. So I completed my first ever Parasite Cleanse, and in all honesty, my first ever cleanse in general. In the past, I've been pretty undisciplined and just like not really on my game all the time, but I have just had this renewed sense of self and just knowing that I deserve to feel good. And so no amount of work can keep me from wanting to pursue that. So, without further ado, let's dive on into the good stuff. So in my part 1 video, I explained what I was doing and the herbs that I was taking and all of that good stuff. So feel free to check that out if you didn't see the first part of it. I kind of go into why and the reason to do a parasite cleanse in general, all that stuff. A main reason why I did want to do this parasite cleanse that I forgot to put in the first video was that when I was in Cambodia, I was just jonesing for a cup of coffee when we were going to see the sunrise at Angkor Wat. So I'm like, hey babe, like let's go get some coffee from this random little hut on the way there. So we did. The guy like went and woke up his mom from the back, it seemed, and she like made us coffee, which as soon as I started drinking it, my stomach was like, what are you doing right now? And I'm pretty sure she made it with some tap water or, you know, whatever water source she had on hand. I do not think it was malicious. I just think that that's just the way that they roll. And I proceeded to be really, really sick. I was just like not well, diarrhea, stomach cramping, and it kind of like took a toll on our trip. But moral of that story being, I do think that I maybe got some sort of a little parasite traveler's bug from being over in Asia. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do a parasite cleanse, just because it kind of freaked me out. And yeah, I started out by taking psyllium husks with my bentonite clay, and the husks were making me so bloated. I just was feeling so weird and just like weird crampiness, and I just was not feeling it. I heard of other people having a similar experience. So I just 86'd the husks and just drank the bentonite clay on an empty stomach every morning, a couple hours before taking my herbs. Also with the bentonite clay, I really did enjoy how that made me feel, but I do think that it kind of dehydrated me. I was drinking about as much water as I normally would, and pretty much all resources said that I should have been drinking way more, but drinking water is one of the things that I'm working on. I mean, I say that as I have a cup of iced coffee here, but it's iced coffee and the ice has melted now, so there's water in here, right? I feel like morning routine is something that a lot of us strive for, and this cleanse really helped me do that, because if I didn't time out my stuff perfectly, then I wasn't even able to eat until like 1 in the afternoon some days, because wake up, take the clay, you have to wait 2 hours before you can take the herbs, which then you have to wait 30 minutes. So those time restrictions really helped me to just kind of feel super on point. And I really enjoyed the whole routine aspect of that. And it's something that, while I don't want to do those extreme things every single day, it's something that I've been implementing into my life and have just been really, I just really love a good morning routine. So that was super, super awesome and kind of helped me kickstart my days in a really nice way of caring for myself first things first, you know? So that was really, really cool. Also, when I was starting my morning this way, not being able to eat for 2.5 hours was almost like an intermittent fasting kind of thing. So I would let my body just deal with the gunk that was already in it, and then I wouldn't introduce any food or break my fast for a little while after. I would still drink some tea and coffee during the morning, but nothing super heavy or like full of, you know, like nothing super crazy, just because I wanted to keep it really light and gentle, and because I knew that the bentonite clay was going to absorb it all anyway. So I kind of didn't want to like waste my money by putting something into my system that wasn't going to actually become a part of me, you know? The number one question that I've been getting is, did I shit my pants? And no, I didn't. What a win. I was fully expecting to hate my life. I was fully expecting abdominal cramps and constipation and bloating and all of those stomach issues that everybody wants to avoid at all costs. And none of that happened to me, thank God. And it was just a super gentle cleanse, I felt, which is you know, another reason why herbs are so great, because they work with our bodies and they're natural. They're not some crazy synthetic chemical derivatives that your body doesn't really recognize. So that was really, really cool. So the cleanse was supposed to be 17 days and I lasted super strong for like 14 of them. So 2 weeks is definitely really substantial and I'm still proud of that. The main foods that I ate were like eggs, beef, grass-fed butter, cauliflower products. So whether it be actual cauliflower rice, cauliflower pasta, you kind of get the gist. Just keeping it super simple and super easy to digest and consume. Bone broth is one of the most healing, beautiful foods for your body. So I definitely made it a point to incorporate that as much as possible. I did write down all of the food that I ate. For the most part, there's a couple days where I was like, you know, having fun and living my life and didn't. Whatever, we're human, you get it. So the first 3 days of my parasite cleanse, I did not feel good. I was super achy. I had achy joints and achy muscles and I had no energy. And I was just thinking about food all the time and all the foods that I couldn't eat. So I just felt really yucky for the first like 3 to 4 days, which is to be expected. And that's what every other video has said. So it wasn't anything that, it didn't come as a surprise to me. But I definitely did not feel optimal and amazing, which was kind of more validation to continue on and just keep pushing, because it's like, wow, if this is affecting me already like this, then I can't wait to see how I feel in a week or so when this is gone. So by day 5, I felt fucking amazing, you guys. I felt so good. And I will say that I don't think that it was the herbs or the supplements or the capsules or anything that made me feel so great, but it was the diet, and it was just cutting out the bullshit, cutting out all the refined carbs. And from that, I just felt so mentally clear. I felt amazing. My skin has cleared up so much. Like, I just put on a little bit of powder just to like not be shiny, but aside from this one little transgression on my forehead, you can see that my skin is so clear. And I've never had bad acne, but I've always had just like underlying like little redness, annoying things. So it's so nice to be free from that finally. Everything is diet, but before it's diet, it's mindset, you know? So I had to make the conscious choice to do this parasite cleanse. You can't just jump into a cleanse and expect yourself to stick with it if you don't have a reason why. And so again, back to that Cambodia story, I was kind of freaked out by that. And that, if you do any research on parasites, I'm pretty sure it will inspire you to action no matter who you are, because there are some gruesome tales out there. Like I said, by the end of the first week, feeling super clear-headed, super great. And then on day 10, I went to my friend's birthday. Balance is the name of the game, and I let myself have some tequila. I had a French fry or two and, you know, cheese, bread, all that fun stuff, and immediately noticed the effects and felt like total shit. So my body went into detox mode, and I swear, you guys, I felt like depressed. Just not depressed because of anything, but just inside my body, I did not feel good. And I knew that it's because my body was working through cheese and craziness and pizza. And so that was profound, noticing how the food affected my emotional state and how that affects my relationships. And everything comes full circle. So taking care of my body has now become like such a priority. And honestly, I've been sticking to this very limited, low inflammatory diet since then, just because I feel so good. You guys, I lost 8 pounds in 2 weeks. And I wouldn't consider myself like a heavy person or someone with a lot of weight to lose, but clearly I did have a lot of weight to lose. And not being inflamed, like, look at this photo of how much inflammation was in my body from eating oats and grains and sugar and, you know, just excessive amounts of smoothies, fruit, just too much. I was just eating too much food, too much of the wrong food rather, because now that I'm just mainly eating protein, fat, and like berries, I feel so good. Me wanting to do a parasite cleanse came kind of from an emotional place where it was just, I was so over it, you know? I'm just over myself, over feeling like shit. We've all been there. So knowing that I followed through and completed the 2 weeks of the cleanse feels so awesome because I kept my promise to myself, which is huge because your relationship with yourself is the most important one that you have. So really focusing on that and putting in work on that just feels really, really good knowing that I did that. I'm really proud of myself, which it feels cool to say. Also, on about day 14, I went to get coffee and I forgot to say with almond milk. So I got like a sugar-free vanilla latte, iced, whatever, and immediately felt the effects of the dairy after not having it for 2 weeks. I just felt kind of bloated and like, you know, when you just feel like your stomach is just like, it's like, hey, what's up in here? That's how I felt. So I've been avoiding dairy for the most part since then. I have definitely indulged in cheese a couple times, but then when I feel like shit after, I know exactly why. So what I would do differently in the future next time I want to do a cleanse or something along these lines is probably focus less on the detoxing and the taking away and focus more on refreshing my cells and giving my body the tools that it needs to just like rehydrate and recalibrate and just be juicy, you know? I would definitely probably also be a little bit less restrictive and allow myself to eat more fruits and more foods that are still normal, natural, healthy, great for us. I was a little bit restrictive on this one. And so I think that that's probably why I also didn't make it to the full 17 days was just because I was like, oh my God, I'm going crazy just eating ground beef and eggs every day, you know? So looking at a cleanse from the mindset of lack, like I can't eat this food or I can't eat that food, I had to make a conscious effort to shift it to how lucky am I that I get to choose what food that I eat every day? How lucky am I that I can go to the grocery store and pick up whatever I need for my personal needs, for whatever I want to do? You know, there are people in the world that they just eat what they can get. And so just coming from a place of gratefulness and how lucky am I, you know, and abundance and choice. It feels so much more empowering coming from that way. Thanks so much for your continued support. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following up and seeing how my journey went. And thanks for all of your, you know, encouragement along the way. I got so many messages from you guys just thinking that this was so cool. And I think it's so cool too. So it's really nice that we're building this little community together here. And if you have any questions or if you want to start a parasite cleanse of your own or just even, you know, some sort of a mindful eating week, I'd love to join you, honestly. And feel free to reach out and ask any questions that you have. And yeah, I will be talking to you guys super soon.